We're in the final days of August 28th. It's a Wednesday, the last Wednesday of the month. And welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live with the icon Mike Smith. I'm Dan Ramey. And Mr. Hand 2 is not straightening Mike's collar.
It always does that way. I think I'm all prepared, and it ends up still being crinkled up.
Maybe you should look in the mirror. We should bring a mirror up here so you can do makeup before you
I could turn that little
come on the air
screen there, but it's just not big enough for me to see. So, you know, Ides. March has Ides of March. Why doesn't August have? August seems like a month that needs to have Ides. Beware of the Ides, whatever.
Yeah. We have the dog days of summer.
Yeah, but that could be just about any time.
True, but it's usually in August, and we're experiencing it now thanks to the hot weather, which we'll take a look at right now.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Producer.
Kind of a rinse and repeat.
I'm sharing.
It's kind of a rinse and repeat of yesterday. Not much is changing from day to day. Sunny and hot through Friday. We have heat advisories out with heat index of over 100. I think 102 is the highest I've seen this week. We are seeing, even this morning, it started yesterday, it's carrying through this morning. Many high school sporting events are not canceling necessarily, but they are moving their times to later in the evening because of the heat. Almost every football game for Friday night that I've seen has either a 7:30 or 8 p.m. kickoff.
And some of the schools are dismissing early as well.
Yes.
You know, Chillicothe City Schools has that situation. Lancaster High School is releasing early. I think I shared that on our Facebook page yesterday, so you'll find that information in the news feed here today. I stopped over to talk to Clay Beeler last night at Huntington High School. I thought, well, I'll just stop by practice on the way home. And when I stopped out, they were all wearing their game uniforms, and the coaches were all wearing their coach outfits, and they're all black. And they were roasting yesterday. Reason was they had, of course, the misfortune for Sam Beeler, the traffic accident last week, that they were supposed to have their team photos taken last week, but they had to reschedule, and it just happened to be last night. And those coaches couldn't get the coaching gear off fast enough. I mean, as soon as team photo was done, the shirts came off.
Now, they've always told us that black or dark colors absorbs heat. Light colors reflect heat, so we try to go by that.
Here's a Dan Ramey radio bit. This was back in 1992, I think it was. We decided to have a softball team for Easy 108, which was the station I was working for at the time up in Columbus. And Jimmy Jam, the hairy man from WNCI's Morning Zoo, his dad owned the radio station. Jimmy started the softball team, and so we got these jerseys, and they were all black. And I'm like, Jimmy, what are you doing? Jimmy was a Delaware Pacer.
Oh, yeah.
So black and orange. And I'm thinking, why not get the orange jerseys with black numbers?
It just could have been lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much for his Delaware education, I guess.
Right. But there's some relief in sight.
We're happy to hear that.
Saturday, we're talking about some rain, but cooler temperatures. And from everything I've seen all throughout next week, nothing warmer than low 80s and maybe even 70s for daytime highs. So just a few more days to grin and bear it, folks, and hopefully the weekend will start cooling things off.
And if the Lord continues to tarry, sooner or later it's going to be December and January.
Yeah.
And you'll forget about these hot days.
Why was all that warm temperature?
Yeah. Can we just bottle it up and use it during the winter time? Coming up, a look at news that you can use. It's beneficial news, and we'll also share sports for you. And today, this is this date in history. Mm-hmm. This is key for civil rights.
Absolutely.
All right, so details coming up in just a moment. Speaking of the hot weather, how about these guys? Accurate heating, cooling, and plumbing. Maybe heating's not the problem right now, or maybe it is the problem and you want it to be cool. They can handle the comfort systems in your home or your business if you got an issue there. If you're starting from scratch, building something new, they would like to help out as well. Find out more when you click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. It takes you to AccurateHVAC.com, the official website of Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it. Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit DixieChopper.com.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Haynes Total Health Care Center, just off Marietta Road here in Chillicothe on One Medical Drive right there. They've got your chiropractic needs covered, physical therapy needs. I've been doing both, and nutritional needs too. They even made sure I had some turmeric to help me with the inflammation in my body. You can get more details when you stop by Haynes or go to their website, which is hayneshealth.com. If you click on this ad anywhere at littermedia.com, it takes you right to their website to get connected with Haynes Total Health Care Center. News that you can use, you find it all the time on our website, littermedia.com. We do have some items, however, that only make it to our social media, so make sure you follow us here on Facebook, share us with a friend, the same with our Litter Twitter or Litter X, and you can listen to some of the interviews we do with our special events on Spotify, as well as Litter Media Radio. What are we starting with today?
Interview you just had.
Special edition. Earlier today, we had the opportunity to speak with Emma Lanning Johnson, manager of Mighty Children's Museum. She shared information about the Farm to Fourth fundraiser coming up September 14th at 5 p.m. on East 4th Street in Chillicothe.
Yeah, we're really excited. Like you said, it's September 14th. We're going to start at 5 o'clock right on the bricks of East 4th Street in front of the museum. We're going to have tables set up. We're going to have live music from Danny Hines throughout the evening. Everyone's going to be out in the streets sitting together. So we're really encouraging businesses to buy tables. Bring your family, your friends, everyone to enjoy the evening. We have a special art auction working with Taylor Bonner from Chillicothe City Schools to get local kids to do art. I think she's choosing landmarks around Ross County, and those are going to be up on the bricks. People can bid on them, and we'll also have order sheets to buy prints of them. And then we have a live auction. We've worked really hard to get packages for all over the city. We have bed and breakfast nights, stays, special opportunities throughout downtown, gift cards, and all that will be part of our live auction that people can bid on.
Emma talks more about the expansion project as well, which is expected to be completed by 2026, which will transform the second floor and create 3,000 square feet of space that is on the building's third floor to allow them to serve ages 9 through 13. You can see the entire interview on our YouTube channel and in the video section here on our Facebook page.
Join the Pickaway County Park District as well as ODNR wildlife biologist Eileen Wiza. She is a PhD. They have an interactive session coming up on Friday, September 6th from 7:30 to 9 p.m. at Canal Park in Circleville. Expect fascinating insights into bat behavior with fun and learning for all ages. Registration is required. To register, go to Mellis at PickawayCountyOhio.gov. The 2024 Battle of the Bands is hitting Pickaway Raw CTC September 6th, same date, where homeschool bands will compete and students will vote for the winner. First band steps off at 9:30 a.m., and if you want to come on out and watch it as a spectator, bring your lawn chairs because I think this thing probably goes at least a couple of hours. So.
You give maybe 10 minutes per band to do their show, and I want to say there's 7 bands.
8
8
does
bands.
go Pickaway County too, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you've got Tays Valley, Tays Valley's not there because they go to Eastland Vocational Center, but you've got West Falls, Circleville, and Logan Elm. Then you've got Adena, Huntington, Paint Valley,
6 in Ross County. So 9.
Southeastern, Chillicothe, St. Trace.
Yeah, there's 6 Ross County schools.
So 9.
Yeah.
9 according to, am I missing a thumb?
It kind of looks like it was sawed off. Dan was not in an accident of any kind.
This was that meat slicer day that I was at work. It just, I can't open doorknobs now.
Amazing.
I don't have opposable thumbs.
Have you ever been out to this thing?
I have not. I'd like to go, and every time I've gone, it has been after the event, and so I did reach out and ask when it was going to be this year, so perhaps we can make a trip out. That's a week from this Friday coming up. So
I'm thinking Chillicothe is the defending champ. Seems to me they won it last year.
that sounds right. Might have been Unioto the year before.
Because I think we had a post sent to us that we shared after last year.
That sounds right. We kind of went out of schedule.
Yeah, just
there.
take the Circleville Heritage Walk there.
Okay, and I'll do the library as well.
That'd be great.
Okay, step back in time with the Circleville Heritage Walk. It's coming up on September 21st, 8:45 to 12:30. Now, it looks like there's a lot of things you can do right there. I can't read those off the screen, but if you want to find out more, you've got this in our news feed of Facebook. So just scroll down, you'll be able to see all the details there.
And there's a QR code.
Ooh,
on
that QR
poster.
code as well.
Yeah, that little...
and it's $35 per person, right?
The animation there, a lot of people don't know the history of Circleville. Of course, it's the mounds were a part of it, but also the way the city was originally laid out. Literally, it's just like you see there in a circle.
Hence the name Circleville, or as like Mike likes to usually say, is Round Town.
Round Town.
The Waverly community is invited to the opening ceremony of the Garnet A. Wilson Library. That is 9 a.m. September 3rd. The 2023 fire to an adjoining building caused the shutdown of the library. So happy to see them back up and running again. And I know they're still raising funds for the future library, which is out on Emmett Avenue, if I'm not mistaken,
That's the plan.
out towards the Community Service Center there, Pike County Service Center.
That didn't seem like it's been almost a year at that fire. Yeah. And you were there on the scene.
I was there.
Yeah. He didn't start.
I didn't
fire.
start
I didn't
it.
mean it to sound like that.
I am not part of the lyrics of the Billy Joel song.
Yeah.
We didn't start the fire.
Yeah, yeah. Ohio's hunting season for squirrels, doves, and specific waterfowl opens in early September, but the statewide deer archery hunting opens later in the month of September. In fact, exactly on the date Saturday, September the 28th. So you're just less than a week away, hunters, to get out there in the fields and the woods and start getting some grub for yourself.
Were you ever a hunter at any time?
Very limited. My dad, by the time I came along, his knees were bad, and but I will never forget the time that he took my brother squirrel hunting, and they got a squirrel, and Dad was showing him how to skin it, and Mark got sick. He never went hunting again.
Yeah. I've been rabbit hunting before, never been deer hunting, but when Dan Jr. came along in 1983, I retired from hunting. I didn't want him following me into the woods as he got older, and I know the thing to do is to teach him how to use the firearm. But just the thought of being out in the cold, walking around the woods, looking for something to shoot at and then carry it back, it's like golf, you know? I've never really gotten into golf, and that's one expense I don't have to worry about. And in the same respect, I know golfing is a good time. We had the fun with our golf outings we used to have with the radio station. But, it's just there are certain things that are recreatory for many people that just don't appeal to me. So, all right. On to other things. Liberty Township Fire and Rescue here in Ross County will be hosting a benefit dinner for Chad Hafner. That's coming up on September 7th from 3 until 7 p.m. Chad was recently diagnosed with esophageal cancer. He's been serving Liberty Township for more than 25 years, and all the proceeds will benefit the family for medical and travel expenses. The Fire and Squad House is in Londonderry, and that's where they'll be having this. I believe spaghetti is on the menu.
Southeastern Ohio's premier Halloween event is back. It's called the Frankenstein Experience on Haunted Mountain. Now, that'll be Thursday through Saturday nights in the month of October. Now, tickets are guaranteed to sell out, so get them early at the website hauntedmountain.org. It's a play, escape room, a haunted trail, and it's a classic horror tale on a 40-foot big screen.
And they've got the lineup of the movies they released a little bit after that announcement yesterday. So it looks like Frankenstein, the 1931 version, is going to be the first they'll show, along with Little Shop of Horrors from 1988, Sleepy Hollow, House of...
Usher.
Thank you. I'm having trouble reading it now. Hocus Pocus, The Ring. Have you ever seen The Ring?
I have seen The Ring.
I was in the movie theater, and the people were leaving. I was letting them all leave, and this girl walks up the aisle, and she reaches and grabs my forearm, and she says, "It's for you." Now, if you've seen the movie, you know,
Yeah.
you don't want to answer the phone. But then they've got The Blob. There you go, Mike. The Blob out on the mountain. Gremlins, okay.
Do you need me to read them for you?
Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
Here's one of the
I'll let you
best ones
finish.
coming up next.
The Mothman Prophecies, 2002. The Fly, 1958. The Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993. And The Babadook, 2014.
Thank you. He's closer to the screen than I am, and I even had
There's not a
corrective
camera in my
lenses.
way.
Yes.
That last one, I've never heard of that one.
I've heard good things, but I haven't seen it.
What was it again?
The Babadook.
The Babadook.
It sounds like the name of that group you went to here last Friday.
Yeah, that was Bibbidi Bobbidi back.
Even the Baba Booba. Oh, yeah. Let's get on the road.
King Lizard and the Gizzard.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Okay.
Yeah. On the road again down in Pike County. Work set to begin today for an intersection improvement project for Pleasant Hill Road and State Route 220. Work taking place daily. Now, the intersection will revoke access to Pleasant Hill from Route 220. Traffic will be detoured via Buchanan Road to Route 220, and this project's expected to take a good bit of the fall months.
People may be thinking they were making fun of the Jiggity Wiggity Biggity band. What's it called again?
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
But they don't realize how much publicity we've brought and attention
Oh,
to
yeah,
them.
these guys are famous now.
Because even though we can't remember what the name of the
Yeah.
Gizzard, Lizard, Wizard band is, we've got someone to bring that up to us every time we mention it.
Last year for Halloween, I was a Lizard Wizard.
Oh, my goodness.
Looks like the Grim Reaper. Is that what it's supposed to be?
Show that on camera.
Um,
Just put your phone up in front of you're mobile. There you go. No, well, it was a bad picture. But
What was the longest group name of any band in our era that we listened to that you can remember?
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Well, that was an
that's
album.
just the Beatles.
Then let's see.
Seemed like there was the not the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, but there was a band with something comparable to that name that was really long.
So like George McClinton and the Electric Cosmic something or other.
Yeah. And most of these groups that started out with, they ended up shortening it later on because of the marketing. So
Electric Light Orchestra, ELO. You know,
right.
What was the other one? Bachman Turner Overdrive was BTO.
Yeah. Of course, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, that changed based on who was still playing with them. So, But there was some of them were even longer than that. But
Long band.
Janis Joplin, she was, I think at Woodstock, she was with a different group.
Yeah.
But I can't even remember what their name was that they used.
So here are some long names for you. And You Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead is one name. And this, I don't even know how you begin to... Because I'm just going to spell it. PARACOCCIDIOMICOSIS PROCTITISSARCOMUCOSIS.
Wow.
The world's longest band name, belonging to a Mexican grindcore gore grind band
Whatever that means.
that recently started to gain fame.
And then, of course, you had the
Wow.
simplistic Prince, who later became the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yes.
But he always used some kind of an emblem that stood for all of that. I think he ended up going back to
Just
Prince.
had some kind of icon that was on there. The Presidents of the United States is a band name. Didn't know that. And the sensational Alex Harvey Band is another name. Oh, there's 4 more. Let me check. Creedence Clearwater Revival. I Love You, But I've Chosen Darkness.
I heard of that one.
No, me either. The League of Crafty Guitarists and the Disposable Heroes of... Is it Hyprophecy?
Got me on that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Long band names that were probably shortened for marketing.
Maybe I should have put long band names that had hit records.
And none of them hold a candle to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
And there you have it.
And if they did hold a candle to King Lizard the Gizzard, he would probably fry. That'd be my guess. Coming up in a moment, a look at sports. But first, we're going to tell you about a place where sometimes this show goes, the dumpster. Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389 is the number to call if you are in need of a dumpster for your residence or your business. They can take care of it. Give Carl a call, 740-253-8389.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
As a basketball coach and a dad, I need to be able to keep up.
Mark came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc.
I was so confident in Dr. Fleming, he explained everything.
Together, they decided on minimally invasive spinal surgery to relieve Mark's pain and get him back to what matters most. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
Before we get into sports, perhaps another name that I was thinking of was Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Which is the Muppets,
The Muppets,
right? Yeah.
yes.
Right.
Yes. But they came up with an actual band that had people who looked like the Muppets in the live action band. Pretty cool. Time for sports.
Cross country. They were out running in the heat last night. Unioto boys and girls teams won titles at the Huntington Invitational last night. Paint Valley was runner-up on the boys' side. Adina girls the runner-up. Sherman runner William Lynch won the boys' individual championship at a time of 11:39.5. Unioto's Adeline Lloyd won the girls' individual title in a time of 14 minutes and 22 seconds. Host of high school action last night. Most of the conference play got underway last night in volleyball. This one was a little bit of a surprise. I think a lot of people are looking at Miami Trace and Chillicothe as the FAC favorites this year, but Hillsborough upset the Cavs last night in 5 sets. Trace a winner easily over Jackson, McLean over Washington. In the SVC, Huntington and Zane Trace are a couple of teams, along with Unioto, that you got to watch for. Huntington beat St. Trace in 4. Uniota ditto with Westfall. Sweeps for Adina over Southeastern. Piketon over Paint Valley. Bloom Carroll beat Hamilton Township. Fairfield Union. This might have been the night of the match. 2 undefeated teams in the Mid-State League Buckeye. Fairfield Union beats Logan Elm in 5. Christian Thompson, who's coming off a 44-kill performance last week, she had 35 last night against Logan Elm. Circleville was a winner, so was Fisher Catholic and Grove City Christian.
I just want to double check with our producer. Did I hear him say the night of the match?
He did say that.
And
The night of the match.
He meant the
Instead
match of the night.
Instead of the match of the
Okay,
night.
I just wanted to double check, make sure I wasn't hearing something that was odd.
Those are some other scores for you. You'll find, by the way, all of these on our scoreboard page. Moving over into soccer last night, we had a correction on this for the boys. Chillicothe beat Hillsborough 4-1, not 5. Jackson beat Trace. Wheelersburg, Minford, Taze Valley, White Oak, and Athens were all boys winners. Girls soccer, Chillicothe beat Hillsborough 5-1.
Yeah.
And there were some other soccer scores there. There they are.
Well, I don't have the girls soccer.
Oh,
image.
okay, for whatever reason. Okay, let's go to tennis. Chillicothe shuts out Jackson 5-0, and Waverly edges Ironton 3-2.
Our recent athletes of the week, Claire Morrison and Bella Flores, still undefeated.
Undefeated in
Congratulations,
those categories.
The Reds fell to the Athletics in the opener of their series, 5-4. The Reds had an opportunity to tie the game in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Spencer Steer was rounding second. He was heading to third, and the stop sign was put up for him. In the meantime, the throw that was coming in from the outfield got bobbled. He would have scored had they let him go through. But then the game came to an end, 5-4 the final. The game 2 is tonight in Cincinnati. Kansas City continues to dominate the Guardians. 6-1 victory last night. That makes it 3 straight wins over the Guardians. Both teams are now tied for first place in the AL Central at 75 and 58. Why is that? Because Cleveland is 2-9 over the last 11 games. But they've been playing some of the better teams in baseball. Milwaukee, along with New York, and here they have stumbled into what was the toughest number 2 team, and that's Kansas City.
And they wrap up that series this afternoon. I think it's a 1:40 time.
Yeah, so if they want to be on top, they got to win today.
Your producer is going crazy there on your game of the week.
You wanted to talk about something before the Reds.
Yes. Let's talk about it now. It's the Eastern Eagles and the Huntington Huntsmen this Friday night. Our broadcast time has changed to 7:20 this Friday evening with Mike Smith and BJ Daly with the call. So if you are planning on going to football and it's not this game, you can listen to it wherever you are on Litter Media Radio.
And did you tell me the Eagles are wearing different helmets this year?
They received some new uniforms, and they, from what I have seen online, they had the white helmet scheme that the Browns use, and all white uniforms lettered like the Browns. The funny thing about this, and Scott Tomlinson will be in here today to record his segment for the Litter Media Game of the Week preview show. He's a diehard Steelers fan. But he says, I'm all right with it. I'm okay with it.
It's for the kids.
Yeah.
It's for the kids.
I thought to myself when we chatted last year, I said, man, I love seeing those colors on the uniform.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I think he had like a terrible towel with him or something. And I'm like, but what's this all about? And he says, I love Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, all right, coming up in a moment, this date in history, we're dialed up to go to.
1963.
Details next.
You know, talking just a moment ago about team sport colors, things of that nature. Well, what about your litter quality propane tank? You can have custom tank collars and wraps put on that. Find out how a propane tank can be beautiful at litterpropane.com.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Time for this date in history.
One of the biggest speeches probably ever given in the nation's capital, other than maybe Lincoln's second inaugural address, occurred on this date in 1963 on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Another segue, Dan. How about that? That's two in a row. In Washington, D.C.
I was dreaming of that.
Yeah, I got a dream. The African-American civil rights movement reaches its high water mark when Martin Luther King Jr. delivers his
I Have a Dream
to about 250,000 people attending the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. The demonstrators, black and white, poor and rich, came together in the nation's capital to demand voting rights and equal opportunity for African Americans and to appeal for an end to racial segregation and discrimination. And it happened on this date. And yes, you are correct if you thought that's Harry Belafonte on the far right. He was one of Dr. King's good friends. And that happened on this date in 1963. Do you remember
the content
Harry Belafonte
of character? Oh, yeah, of course.
What was his famous song that he was it the Banana Boat song or something like that?
Yeah,
it was kind of like a cadence to the song. I remember that as a child.
I just can't remember the words to it.
That's kind of the way it went.
And now we're demonetized.
Wait a second. Wait a second. That's also in Beetlejuice. The first Beetlejuice.
And it's sampled in a Lil Wayne song.
Is it?
Is that
yes.
right?
My favorite Lil Wayne song.
And Beetlejuice is coming out. Is it this weekend?
I'm not sure.
Or next weekend?
I don't like the first one very much.
You're our movie guy.
I don't like the first Beetlejuice. I don't care.
First one.
You've never seen it?
Nope.
Well, don't say his name 3 times in a row.
I've heard
because if you
on
do,
the preview, that's not good.
Don't bother.
If you do,
don't bother with it, Mike.
Michael Keaton will show up here.
That'd be all right.
In a clown outfit, not his Batman outfit. So, I still liked him as a Batman.
I did too.
He's a good Batman.
Yeah. I mean, Christian Bale's all right.
His was a more serious Batman.
Yeah,
Michael Keaton.
Well, he was the Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I thought Jack Nicholson was absolutely hilarious as the Joker.
Yeah.
Where Heath Ledger was more dark.
But man, he was fantastic as the Joker.
Not as good as Cesar Romero, though.
Well, talk about satire and comedy. Yeah,
the
TV show.
Yeah, but Heath Ledger put so much of himself into that character that it gave him difficulty. And of course he
died not too long after that movie came out.
Yeah.
Even though he won the Academy Award posthumously.
Yeah. Did you see him in? Was it A Knight's Tale?
Yes, that was kind of a cute
I thought he was good in that movie. Yeah. And the fellow that was his spokesman, they had these people before the jousting events and everything. They would come up and they would be the big biller and seller of the guy that you were representing.
Yeah,
that guy was in the Da Vinci Code, and if I'm not mistaken, he also played in the Marvel universe. Oh, what's his character? His character was married to, this is horrible. When you get older, these things happen, and it happens more often than you care to think of.
I thought Heath Ledger also did a good job in The Patriot as Mel Gibson's son, oldest son.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When I was going to the fight, didn't he?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was an animated Batman TV show, and Mark Hamill played the Joker.
Right.
And I think he's really good in that role.
Yeah, the animated series I thought was really well done. It was really good. This is horrible.
Have you seen any of the 1940s Batman movies?
I've seen a lot of the Adam West show, but I haven't seen anything before that.
This is in the 40s. I mean, talk about bad. The costumes didn't fit the guy, like it does in the. And even Adam West looked good in his costume. These guys look like clowns wearing their suits.
We had the VHS of the Adam West movie, so I watched that a ton as a kid. And then when my parents finally decided I was old enough, I watched the Michael Keaton Batman, and I just thought it was so awesome.
What was that age? When you were old enough?
I was
22.
No, I was probably 8 or 9.
They just let him watch it last year. Yeah. I thought since he's going to get engaged, he might as well be able to watch this movie now. So.
This is really bugging me, and I know it's not kind to look down at your phone and everything.
Maybe this is something you can look up for tomorrow's show that'll keep people. Hey, I got to find out what the heck Dan was thinking about.
Who are you looking for?
Well, it's
let me do it. I'm not on camera.
Well, I'm looking here for.
You can't think of the name of the guy he's looking for.
Yeah, the characters that were in the Infinity War.
There's a lot of them in that movie.
Yeah, and this is the main guy that is. This is horrible.
This wasn't Captain Marvel or somebody like that, was it?
No. I'm going to come across it here before too long.
Describe their superpowers.
He can do anything and everything.
Well, that's pretty wide.
I'm going to come across it here because they're now doing them in alphabetical order here. Vision, thank you. Yes.
Paul something is the actor's name.
Right. Vision. That's what I was thinking of. He wasn't one of those that stands out unless you were really deep into the comic book series of Marvel. And but yeah, Vision had one of the Infinity Stones, didn't he?
And he was also Tony Stark's AI before he became the Vision.
Right. Yeah, Jarvis.
Yes.
Okay.
So does Marvel Comics come? I mean, is that Captain Marvel? Is he in that series?
Well, he is no longer a he. Captain Marvel is now a she.
Okay.
Well, Captain Marvel, who you're thinking of, is a DC character.
DC.
And there was naming rights issues, so they don't call him Captain Marvel anymore.
Okay.
They call him Shazam.
Yes.
Which is the word.
That's a big change.
That's the word he says to activate his powers because he's a kid. And when he says Shazam, he becomes a superhero.
And to just bring this full circle.
I thought that was something that Gomer Pyle
I was going to say for Mike, it's something that Gomer Pyle always said was.
I think I only saw the first Captain Marvel, the most recent movie. I didn't see the subsequent movies after that. So, oh well.
But there's a Shazam movie if you want to watch that one.
I think I'll skip that.
It's actually pretty good.
Shortly after Hollywood went through the ordeal where there weren't enough women in positions of authority, that sort of thing.
DEI, is that what they call it?
When Infinity Wars came along, it was as if they lumped all of the female superheroes together in this battle. And there's one scene where they all just kind of appear, and it's like, now we're going to take on Thanos, and go after him. And they all end up fading away because Thanos had the Infinity Stones.
Right.
Yeah.
Which all this discussion is completely Infinity Stones.
Well, Traffic Light Sports is really into it in the comments right now.
Yes. And I know that there are
Shazam,
Marvel fans out there that are watching, and they just are like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. But I had something really cool that happened
Paul Brittany,
This was a few Christmases ago. And I had Christmas lights that I put down on the ground because I was connecting a Christmas tree, and then I just went ahead and strung the lights out along the ground as well. Well, it snowed. And when the snow melted, you had like this melting spot with a light in the middle, and the colors were the same as the Infinity Stones. And I'm like, this is cool. So I had to take a picture of it. And
so now we know that Dan Raimi actually has superpowers, and he is one of the.
Well, only when the Christmas lights are plugged in. It's the only time I have power.
Gotcha.
Except for the ones that won't light again. It's like,
and his kryptonite is when the snow melts and the light's not like that anymore. Yeah.
Well, kryptonite is DC.
Yeah.
So
gotcha. Superman.
All right. That's it for today's program. We've gone way too long on way too many subjects, I'm sure. But you want us to shoot for an hour, is that right?
Yeah, I think sometime we should.
Show. It would just take off in a whole different direction.
Oh, yeah.
And those are the things that people said, I remember when you guys were talking about whatever, so.
But then they would cut short because Mike would say, I got to recut the news for such and such.
Well, you know, the town was burning down. I had to, you know, leave the studio and go do something, so. There were some serious matters I had to teach.
There were every once in a while, yeah.
I could keep going on. I had a big superhero phase in high school and middle school.
And?
Well, I was going to say, because you mentioned Superman. Do you know where Superman gets his powers from?
Cleveland, Ohio.
No.
He was actually in Kansas, wasn't it?
Yes, he was. He crash landed on Kansas, but he gets his powers from the Earth's yellow sun because Krypton has a red sun. And so none of them on Krypton have their powers.
I see.
But they're activated by the Earth's yellow sun.
How about
so when he gets hit by red light, like Batman uses a red heat lamp sometimes, and then Superman loses his powers.
So was this something that originated with the original Superman back in the late 30s, or was this something developed?
This was probably in like the 80s when they developed that.
Because it's not important to Mike unless it was the original in the 1930s.
Well, which, by the way, the guys that invented the character, I think they were from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the original Superman in 1930, whatever, couldn't fly. He could just leap tall buildings in a single bound. He did not have the power of
That's
flight.
kind of a drag, you know. You can jump that high, but you can't fly.
Well, look at Hulk. He can bound like that all over. In fact, I recall having a dream at one point in time about being able to bound like that and like 400 feet up in the air, and you could see the fields and all this kind of stuff and clouds, and then coming back down and going back up again. And then you have those deja vu experiences. When I started flying the drone here, I am watching on the controller and I'm like, dang, this is what I saw in my dream, you know?
That's scary. Omen.
So you bet. You bet.
It's a sign.
There are signs to everything, I guess, in some respects. Such as a sign of we've got a guest coming in, so we have to wrap this show up.
The producer doing this. Cut.
Would you stop? All right, that's it for today's program. Do we have a special event tomorrow?
Just the preview show at noon.
Okay, so our regular daily show at 11 o'clock or thereabouts tomorrow with another edition of Litter Media Live. For Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey, and for, there he is, Superman. Superman hand. Give us a Superman hand.
I don't know how to do that.
Be like this because he's flying, yeah.
Or it could just be a fist of fury.
Superman was never my favorite. I like Daredevil.
Daredevil's cool.
Yeah.
Blind guy.
I thought we were wrapping this thing up.
Mary Jane or Gwen?
Gwen.
Gwen? Okay.
Yeah, I don't like redheads.
Like the blonde.
Yep.
Oops. Okay. Talking Spider-Man there.
Oh, okay.
All right. And that's it for the program. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching this edition of Litter Media Live.